Hi, everybody, and welcome back to The Plot Genie. Okay, so you published the book, you did everything right, and maybe you even ran a promo or two, but the sales are not there. If you've ever asked, why isn't my book selling? This video is for you. Today, we're breaking down 5 of the most common reasons books don't sell and how to actually fix them. No fluff, no guilt, just actionable strategies to get your book in front of the right readers. And finally, obviously, start making that money. So, reason number one, the cover doesn't match the genre. So, let's start with the hard truth. Readers judge books by their cover. Oh my gosh, spoiler alert. If your book isn't selling, this is often the first place to look. You want to ask yourself, does your cover clearly communicate the genre at a glance? Is it comparable to the current top 100 in your category? And are the fonts, the colors, and the vibe doing your story justice? Excuse me. How do you fix it? Well, it's going to take a little bit of time in terms of time that you can invest in actually figuring out what kind of cover your story needs. So research 10 best sellers in your genre. Hire a designer or use a pre-made that hits that vibe, and then test with reader feedback. You could do Instagram polls, you could do Facebook groups. I like to reach out to my newsletter and ask them for their feedback. If the cover is wrong, they're never going to even read the blurb. So I am doing this sort of paranormal academy, cozy mystery, superhero. It's like this weird trifecta. And I think Heather from maybe 2017 would be like, I'm just going to do whatever I want and, Cartman it, right? But this Heather was like, this is what I want to do. I haven't seen it. I don't specifically know the genre in terms of which one do I lean into. Do I lean into the superhero vibe? Do I lean into the fact that it's more of a cozy urban fantasy? Do I lean into the paranormal academy vibe? Like, what do I do? And so what I finally ended up with was a vector. So basically a cartoon girl in front of a building, which is going to obviously be the academy. And the font is very reminiscent of those superhero. So like caps and bold letters, but the coloring isn't going to be super dark and urban fantasy. It's going to be like more pastel. And so it's like we have that boldness of the font. We have the vector. So it's not going to be a regular, oh, you know, badass girl with magic, like an urban fantasy or even a paranormal academy. And the colors aren't dark. So we're not walking into this like it's dark. They're kind of a cozy thing. So honestly, I felt like I really hit all 3 vibes. Like when you look at my cover, you know kind of exactly what you're going to get. And I also did this on brand with the titles. So book 1 is going to be spandex and sleuthing, right? So we have spandex, clearly a superhero word kind of thing. And then we have sleuthing, which implies mystery, solving mysteries. And you kind of get the cute little alliteration of the titles, which goes for the entire series. And that's where you're gonna get, okay, like I would not classify this as a cozy mystery. I even have sort of like an author's note at the very beginning, just to be like, hey, the structure is very cozy. There are going to be quirky characters. It's all going to take place in the same academy, but we're going to get some bad words. And the slow burn is going to turn steamy at some point. So I want my readers knowing what they're getting. And that's why I kind of liken it to more of a cozy paranormal academy series within the structure of there's going to be a mystery per book, and this is going to be a long series of 24 books. So I hope that that makes sense. You just kind of, if you're just like, okay, well, Heather, I'm doing a hockey, why choose mafia? And while I will caution you against that because that is the 3 different things, I would definitely look at each of the genres that you're trying to fit in. So for me, again, it was that paranormal academy, that cozy structure, and that superhero vibe. And at the end of the day, because I decided to lean into more of the coziness, pairing it with that author's note, I think people knew exactly what they were getting. It wasn't just, a regular cozy with a cute animal and the cutesy font, or anything like that. It was a little bit, you had the building in the back, you had the really bold word that evoked more of the superhero versus that cozy. So I think understanding what that is, and for example, so again, I'm not trying to harp on this point. But another one of my again, I call it like cozy urban fantasies or cozy paranormal academies. It's like it's more of like object, but it's not object like urban fantasy. You don't have that darkness, you don't have all of that. It's more of a cute color with, like, a very fantasy inspired border and with objects that relate specifically to that book. So if I have, like, let's say a fox character throughout that series, maybe the fox will be at the top, but maybe there will be arrows at the bottom. Maybe there will be an apple at the bottom or a pumpkin if it's a Halloween thing. And so it's like you can take elements of both of those genres if you are kind of doing this genre infusion thing. I really hope I didn't overcomplicate it. Just research the genre that you're doing and lean into that. Okay. Sorry. Reason number 2, the blurb doesn't hook anybody. So let's say that your cover is amazing, but then they click and your blurb falls flat. Oh my goodness. Here's what your reader needs to know when they read your book, right? It's like literally a Saturday, so I apologize, guys. Um, your reader should immediately know what your genre is, what your tropes are, what your emotional hook is, and what's at stake, on top of knowing who your character is. So bad blurbs could be too vague, too wordy, too long, too much like paragraph, like err on the side of every sentence gets its own paragraph, because we're more likely to be able to read something like that than 2 paragraphs packed with information. And try not to be cutesy and clever, right? Like, don't do that. Just be clear. So here's how you fix it. Start with a killer first line that speaks to the pain point or the promise. Use short paragraphs and white space. Again, kind of like I mentioned, highlight tropes that readers are going to love and end with a mini cliffhanger or an emotional punch. And then I have a blurb formula for romantasy. I'm possibly going to get more up there. Eventually, like that's my hope. It all just depends. But I'm gonna read you my blurb for that book and that cozy paranormal academy. Just so you can kind of get the gist of it. And I'm not here saying, oh my gosh, my blurb is so amazing. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying I like my blurb and I think that it's doing the right job. So at Dominion Point Academy, legacies are forged, secrets simmer under spandex suits, and murder is a required course. So already, right when we jump in, that is the hook, right? You're going to see Dominion Point Academy. So we have Paranormal Academy. I've already set them in for that genre. You have legacies are forged, secrets simmer under spandex suit. So again, we kind of have that teensy bit of cozy mystery humor, and then murder is a required course. Bam, we know it's going to be mystery. So we have Academy and mystery. Paige Calloway has 0 powers, a stubborn streak a mile wide, and a legendary superhero family name she's tired of tripping over. We've already set the stakes. You already know my character's wound. She doesn't have any powers, but she comes from a big deal superhero family. When she's unexpectedly accepted into the elite strategist track, she hopes to finally carve her own path right up until a suspicious death rocks the academy. Armed with little more than a sharp mind, a chip on her shoulder, and a sarcastic ex-vigilante grandmother who thinks burnt toast is a food group, Paige is drawn into a mystery that could shatter everything the Academy stands for. So again, we get a little bit more hints of that coziness, right? We get the grandmother, the kind of the quirky grandmother. We know that she's clever. We know that she has a chip on her shoulder. We also know that, she is thrust into this academy and she's not even sure she's going to fit in because she doesn't have these powers. But then, oh no, a murder happens, right? So then the next part. As alliances shift and danger closes in, Paige must rely on her wits and a grumpy, dangerously perceptive mentor who might just see too much to outsmart a killer hiding among heroes. So again, there is that hint of forbidden romance because he's a mentor, which means he's a teacher. Guys, that's literally my bread and butter. I love it so much. But anyway, we're going to set that aside for now. But do you see how I hinted at it? We don't even know this guy's name yet. So then at Dominion Point, power isn't always what it seems, and survival, well, that's never been guaranteed. And then at the very end, it's more of like kind of like a wrap up, right? Of like it says perfect for fans of cozy mysteries with a twist of capes, slow burn romance, and smart, determined heroines who know how to find trouble and a murderer before trouble finds them. And so again, we're highlighting those tropes, we're highlighting that genre, we're giving a little bit of the voice with that humor in there. And yeah, and if you actually go in and look, there's maybe like 2 to 3 sentences per paragraph. So it's not like jammed packed with emotion. And again, you're ending with that little mini cliffhanger that makes the readers want to be like, oh, what happens here? Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Excuse me. So reason number 3, you're invisible. You can't sell books people don't know exist. I will say it for those of you in the back. You cannot sell books people don't know exist. If you're not getting sales, it might not actually be the book, it might be the visibility. Are you showing up where your readers are hanging out? Are you posting consistently on 1 to 2 key platforms? Using your email list. Are you using it? Are you building one? If you are not, here's how we fix that. Pick one platform. That's all I want you to do. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be TikTok, it could be whatever you like the most. Post a value and story hooks. Engage in specific genre related Facebook groups. You can find them. There are tons of them. Start a reader magnet. I do this. Start a reader magnet, even if it's just a bonus epilogue or what I've been doing with my Dominion Point series. I have a reader magnet. I'm planning next month, August, to start building an email list specifically for this series. But on top of that, I am writing chapters from well, he's not really a love interest when we first start out, but he is the male. You get what I'm saying? I'm writing those chapters from his point of view. I have one for all of the books that I've written so far. I haven't even offered it to people yet, but I have a strategy behind it. I'm going to do that. So think about that. Then talk about your book at least once a week from different angles. I have a social media planner that can help you see different angles. I love it, you guys. I follow it. This is one of the things where it's like, I'm not doing it and I should be doing it. But like it has prompts like 5 ways your hero is a grump or a cinnamon roll, but only for your heroine. Or like, here's how to, formulate a teaser or whatever. I will link it down below, but you can literally, it's 30 days of a specific genre, social media posting, and you don't even have to think about it. You just basically have to fill in the blanks and make your graphic or your reel or whatever. Okay. Reason number 4, the book doesn't deliver what it promises. This one stings. Sometimes the book itself is the problem. It is definitely your book, is what this reason is. I'm not saying it is, but you need to look at it and decide for yourself. Is it your book? If your readers click read and don't finish, don't review, don't buy book 2, there might be a disconnect between your promise and what you delivered. Maybe the tropes were misused. Maybe the pacing dragged. Maybe the romance lacked tension. Maybe the ending didn't satisfy. Here is how you fix it. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you what happened to me. Reread your reviews. Yes, even the mean ones. Look for patterns. I don't want you to be like, well, this person said they hated my heroine. Unless they give specific reasons why, like you know what, she was really whiny throughout the whole book. And there, maybe check, did you have a character arc? Sometimes readers are just going to hate heroines. As long as it's serving your story. Anyway, I'm contradicting myself. Ask a trusted reader or editor for honest feedback, and then update the blurb or rebrand the series if needed. So you can absolutely relaunch, repackage, and revive a book that did not land the first time. Guys, story time. Heather from end of 2023 was so proud because she was going to be doing this 12-book college series, this college hockey series. And she was going to make it so dark. And she already had the story, and it was great in her mind. In her mind. And honestly, it was until she realized it wasn't as good as it could have been. And here's why. The tropes were enemies to lovers, revenge, kind of secret identity in a way, because like she's always wearing a blindfold and he's trying to humiliate her and make her do these things. But so that part, the dark part of the dark romance was great, but the romance part was not, because by the time she actually knew who he was, we were basically like 20% away from the ending. So I did not give the relationship that buildup that readers needed to be satisfied. And that is why my reviews reflect that. I think I'm at a 3.9 because of that. It's not because the writing was bad. It's not because of anything. I mean, you will, especially in dark romance, get those people who are like, this is too dark. You will get this is not dark enough. This is too steamy. So that's not what I'm worried about. It's more of, did I deliver on that promise? And specifically for that book, when I stepped back and when I realized it, I was like, oh my gosh, even though they have been in like contact with each other, even though they're on the page together, their actual relationship the readers did not get to see them as who they actually were versus their, like his hidden sort of identity, if that makes sense. And at some point, will I change it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like, I don't care. But I learned from that. And so when I structure a romance, see, the problem is I was more focused on the genre of the darkness, and I did not take that and make it serve my story. Instead, I forced my story to serve the genre. And you cannot do that because you will get mixed reviews like that. And it's like, it sucks, but it's also a really good lesson. So don't do what I did for that. Okay, final reason. Number 5, you don't have a funnel. One book is rarely enough. This is why, if you watched my last video about book launching, like why I don't even market book one, right? Readers want a path or a funnel, whatever you want to call it. If your book ends and there's nowhere else to go, you're going to lose sales. So the way that we fix this is you write a connected series or you include bonus content. Make sure that your back matter is updated. And when I say back matter, once you finish your book, you have the stuff like about the author or also by the author or whatever. Make sure that that's all updated and it's leading to the next book in the series. If it's the last book in the series, direct them to another series that is similar to yours that you also have, that they can kind of go through that funnel as well. If you have bonus content, just make sure that there is a way for them to stay connected to you, whether you list your socials. I always prefer the newsletter link. And I always say something like your exclusive story or download this free story, or do you want more from these two? Here's an exclusive scene, not safe for work scene. I give them a little teaser of it, and then I have them click on the link. So yeah, all of those things are ways in order to get that funnel, to get people to continue through your funnel. And then what I also do is I use my book one as a lead magnet. I make it perma-free. I will utilize it to build my newsletter with book funnel promos. And then book two now gets to do that heavy lifting. So remember, the goal isn't one sale, it's to create readers for life. And if you can really be consistent, show up, execute your promises, you will get like I have readers who will read anything that I put out. even if it's not like literally, if you check out my like literally I have this cozy, I have this Paranormal Academy cozy. And at the same time, I have these paranormal, like this really, I have a Fallout meets Supernatural series. I have I don't even know, like I have a bunch, like I have Vampire Pirates. I have like almost like Greek mythology meets Batman, like like I have random ass series, and I have readers who read all of it because they've come to appreciate what I'm putting out there. And it's that consistency, it's those funnels. I finish the series and they know exactly what they're getting when they get this book, right? So here's a quick bonus. The real fix amongst all of these is to treat it like a business. Your book is not just art, it's also a product. That doesn't make it less meaningful. It makes it something that deserves the right strategy behind it. So treat it like a business. Track your data, study your market, learn what your audience craves, and iterate, improve, relaunch if you need to. This is why when the book launches, it is not over. Honestly, guys, like I have this one series in my dark fantasy pen name. This was like one of the first books I ever wrote, like 2010. 2010. Think of the language that I was like, oh my gosh, like 18-year-old Heather over there. Ah, but you know what? I literally have had, let me count, 3 to 4 different covers for this series, and it's just a trilogy. But I recovered it last year, and it will like it's like it rejuvenates. I get more reviews, I get more downloads, I get more sales. It is, when I did a review, it was, I think, the second or third most popular of my series out of, I think I have 8 or 9 series. And it's just simply from um recovering it. I didn't even do like a cutesy little launch. I just marketed it consistently, in that I did a couple of paid newsletters a month, or I did like a free book blast. Like that's it. And so it is never over. Like even if you don't make money right away. And that's why I always caution authors, like, oh, they want to stop because they're not making enough money. Like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But you need to think future. Like you need to realize that, like, when a reader comes to your Amazon page or your website or wherever, they're going to look at your different series, especially if they like you. If they are going to see a bunch of different book ones and no completed series, they are not going to trust that you're going to finish the series. And so they might not even start it, and it doesn't matter how good of a writer you are. And that's why it's like, you have to treat it like this business, but it's like, what do you as a person stand for too? Like commitment, you know, everyone's life circumstance is different. I cannot tell you, especially creative is so subjective. I get it. But if we're looking at it like a business, that those are just, things to keep in mind, right? Plenty of successful books, they do not take off until version 2, or in my case, like 5 or 6. But eventually they will. You just have to give it some time. Sometimes you need that space to gain more knowledge, to do more research, or to just breathe, focus on a different series, and come back to this one. Don't quit, just pivot. Okay, so to recap, if your book isn't selling, you have to check your cover, your blurb, your visibility, your story delivery, and your back end funnel. Publishing isn't just write it and they will come, as much as we all want it to be. But when you write with intention and market with clarity, you create something that not only sells, but it sticks with readers. And on top of that, you as an author will stick with the reader too. If this helps in any way, please like and subscribe for weekly videos on writing, marketing, and building your indie author career. Tell me in the comments, what is the hardest part of marketing your book right now? I'm always here to help. All right, everyone. Thank you again for coming and hanging out with me. All right, take care.